Hi, welcome to another episode of David Rides a Trike. I'm David, and yes, I'm riding a trike. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, thank you for tuning in. And I'll give you a short introduction for those of you who are familiar. There's a skip intro link down in the description below. Just click on that to get to the main topic area for today. I make videos to try and motivate people with chronic illnesses and diseases to get out, find some fun form of outdoor exercise, provided their doctor gives the okay. For me, it's riding this Recumbent trike, but whether you ride a trike, a bike, get out and walk, usually outdoor exercise can be very therapeutic, and it turns out to be a lot of fun. Personally, I fall into both the chronically ill and disabled categories. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 1.5 years old. I had a pancreas transplant when I was 41. That's what today's topic is about, actually. I've had 3 organ transplants total. I am legally blind, completely blind in one eye, don't see very well out of the other. I've had stage 3 cancer that was cured with surgery and chemotherapy. Right now I am battling stage 4 cancer, a different type of cancer that's spread throughout my body. So I'm undergoing chemotherapy right now, and I've had a long list of surgeries, procedures, and maladies, but I've come through it all okay, and I still get out on my trike and have a great time when I ride. So, if you watched last week's video, you saw that it was the 9-year Transplantversary, as we call it, the 9-year anniversary of my second kidney transplant. And this week, June 7th, is the 25-year Transplantversary of my pancreas. 25 years that I have not been a diabetic. This, unfortunately, is a sadder story than the kidney transplant was. Kidney transplant involved some very brave people, and the pancreas story involved brave people, but in a different way. So let me start at the beginning. As I said, I was a type 1 diabetic. Hang on just a moment. On your left. I was a type 1 diabetic, and after my first kidney transplant, which was in 1986, my sister Judy donated a kidney then. One of the anti-rejection drugs I was on was prednisone. Prednisone wreaks havoc with your blood sugar, and I was going from testing my blood sugar. One moment it was too high to read, and 20 minutes later it was too low to read, and it would roller coaster like that all day long. And I called my transplant coordinator and said, I can't go on like this. Just everyday life, work, everything was impacted by it. And they said, well, you're a perfect candidate for a pancreas transplant. And we discussed it, and I said, put me on the list. So I was on the waiting list for a pancreas, and I never really thought, I knew pancreas transplant was going to come from someone who unfortunately died, but I didn't give it a lot of thought, to be honest. And on June 7th, I had gone on the list in December. June 7th was a Saturday morning, 7 a.m. I got the call, we have a pancreas for you. And they said it was from a 17-year-old girl who was killed in a car accident. And I think my joy of getting this transplant and becoming non-diabetic was immediately overridden by the fact that a 17-year-old girl had died. And I was going to benefit from it. But we got to the airport as quickly as we could. We had to go up. My transplant was going to take place at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis. Got on a flight, got there. I was at the hospital by 10 a.m. And when we walked in, Debbie, my wife, went into the gift shop and said, I want to get a newspaper. So she got one, and she goes, oh my God, the front page story was about 2 girls who were killed in a car accident the night before. And one of them I knew was going to be my donor. And Debbie said to me, do you want to read it? I said, no, I can't. So they did the surgery. It worked beautifully. I went into surgery. The last insulin shot I took was at like 2 in the afternoon that day, and it's the last shot I've ever taken. Came out of surgery, non-diabetic, and my whole life changed. But it also came with the thought of this young girl dying so that I could get this transplant. So things went on, and I got in touch with the girl's family. Found out her name was Kristen Frank. A lot of people called her Chrissy. And I got to know the family very well. And it was hard. You know, here I was doing great, and they had lost a daughter. And from their perspective, they got a call on Friday night, June 6th, that Chrissy had been in a car accident. She was in very, very critical shape. They got to the hospital, and at some point they said, she's brain dead. And the family decided to let her go. But before they did, the organ procurement agency sent somebody in and said, would you have Kristen be an organ donor? And they said yes. And to me, that was a heroic thing to do. Here they had lost their daughter, but they were willing to help other people as a result of it. So they said yes. I received the pancreas, and I honestly don't think a day goes by that I don't think about Kristen. It's 25 years. She would be 42 now, and it's still hard for me. I'm in touch with her sister still, just through social media, and I think that's a comfort for both of us. So Jamie, thank you, love you, and yeah, that's the story. Here I am, 25 years later, not a diabetic, pancreas working beautifully, through chemo 8 years ago, through it again now. Pancreas is working absolutely perfectly. So to the Frank family, thank you so much for the heroic decision you made. I can't express how thankful I am that you said yes when you were asked that question. And I think about you every day, Kristen. So that is it. I'm going to try and end on a happier note. The inaugural DRAT ride, David Rides a Trike ride, is coming up this coming Sunday, June 12th. Have over 70 people signed up for it, and should be a lot of fun. Right now the weather looks really good for it. I'm on a section of the trail that we will be riding, and hopefully there won't be too many bumps in the road. It's the first time I've ever tried to organize a ride, and I don't know what I don't know, but I think I have most of the main things covered, so really looking forward to it. That's it for this episode, and I will see you on the next ride. Bye-bye.